Good
Oh, we're
morning.
live.
It was like instant.
I know, right? We're usually waiting.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. It seems like all the glitches. I mean, we're just
Maybe
like,
with the Zoom going down the other day, because I don't know if any of you guys have
Yes.
seen that, but Zoom went down like
Mhm.
all day long, and which is why we couldn't stream live. So none of the people from school could get on or anything. So maybe they did some negotiating with Zoom and Facebook Live. Like, okay,
that
let's
was like,
get us in really
boom.
quickly.
That was so fast and so simple. And it was really easy yesterday as well. And watching Eventbrite and Zoom are playing nice together, increasing their security measures, keeping our live events safer from, hackers, those Zoom hackers that are popping in. So good
Right,
morning.
I love it.
Welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina and our fabulous guests in our virtual studio today. Miss Tina, how are you doing?
Doing good. We had an amazing Connect Summit 7 yesterday. And the speakers, they were just phenomenal, like so inspirational, right?
They were
I think
very
our theme
inspiring.
yesterday was like hope, gratitude, faith, joy.
There was a
Like
lot of
all of
hope.
those.
Yes, they did. It was very inspiring, and you could there was just this energy around it that was just lovely. So thank you for those who watched, for our speakers who participated. Our next Connect Summit, number 8, we've already put on the calendar. So we're stretching it out. So it's our September/October summit is going to be on October 6th. So save the date, 1 to 6 p.m. Eastern time.
No, 1 to 7. Yeah, 1 to 7. I want to say 1 to 7 because I always put an extra hour in there because
it's because the extra hour for the networking. I should put that in, but I have to make sure my calendar only anyways, I'm like the calendar Nazi over here.
Yeah. Tina, what color should I put it?
Yeah, Tina's all about color blocking. And so what color would that be? Is that income producing? Is that relationship building? Is that
I do my networking
marketing?
all in blue.
All in blue?
Yeah, all my networking or speaking events are all in blue.
We're all in blue. Okay. All right. Well,
my money making activities are green.
This is marketing.
I would say this would be a marketing and networking thing. So I would say blue.
I put it in as a dollar sign. Like this is a money. Oh, do you? Yes. Anytime I speak, I count that as, that's usually like, that's an activity that Angel has to do. Yeah. It's not one of those things I delegate because that brings in revenue for us. Yeah. So I don't know how. Okay. So we'll have to ask you guys.
You're speaking to sell from stage. So you are making money.
Yeah, so I'll have to ask our fabulous guests. We've got Christine McKay. Christine, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having
me.
I'm so excited to be
unicorn.
Here.
She did.
I always wanted a unicorn when I was little. Now I can have one.
You're like My Little Pony. Coming to us from LA, correct?
Yes.
Downtown.
Sunny downtown Los Angeles.
It does look sunny. We can see the reflection in the ceiling there. Well, Denver is a little clearer today than it has been. Molly, welcome. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
And Molly, where are you coming from?
I am from Parker, Colorado, just down the street from Angel.
Okay, so is it I heard that it was like fires and all types of stuff over there.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like Angel said, it's a little bit clearer today, but yeah, it has been. It makes for beautiful sunsets and sunrises.
So she was telling that the sun and the moon are like dark, deep red.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
So Molly, you should recognize, I took this picture on Monday morning. I was volunteering at a charity golf tournament at Arrowhead Golf Course. And so I took this picture just Monday morning out there, and Tina, she's like, are those real, like man-made rocks?
I told her because she was like, oh, it's so beautiful here, Tina. And she said it was so beautiful. I said, what, the morning? And she's like, no, the golf course. And so she took a picture and she sent it to me. I said, is that real?
Oh yes, yeah. I recognized it. It's beautiful.
Okay, so
she took this with her phone.
I did, and it's not like even a real fancy phone. It is
kind of a fancy phone.
Yeah, it's a fancy phone.
Okay,
so even a fancy phone. I have a phone.
It's a flip phone. My dad's
still
new
the flip phone?
his new phone is a flip phone.
They're
Like,
coming back. They're making a huge comeback in the market.
Oh,
Huge comeback.
I used to work at Verizon, right? And so I would always have the customers are like, I don't want a smartphone. I don't want nothing. I'm like, okay, so they would just have their little flip phone.
that's my dad.
Now you can't get, certain text messages.
Now you can. They've
Well,
totally-
on the flip phones, you can't get certain text messages, right? So, I
oh
would
no,
tell
they've
them,
changed that.
you can't get certain text messages on here, and they're like, oh no, I just don't want it. And then they would come in and try to go from a flip phone to like an iPhone 10, and I'm like,
We would always
this
tell my
is gonna
dad,
be
he's
a
like,
long training process.
but I would tell him like it's your, because he had a Walkman and he had his camera
A
and, like, and all this
Walkman.
stuff. I'm like,
Did he,
Dad,
did he have the flash bulbs?
Put it all
God,
in
you were
one.
dating him.
that's my dad, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that kind of dates him
It's
already.
not my husband.
Does he have an 8-track in his kitchen
I
too?
know, right? Is
Yeah,
it
he
a
had one in
Walkman
his
or is it
pickup
a CD? A CD Walkman or is it a tape Walkman?
Oh, I love
I
it.
did grow up on 8-tracks, listening
Me
to
too.
8-tracks. Right?
Me too.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about time management and color coding and what you guys create.
You love this.
I do this, like I eat this stuff up. So first of all, do either of you do the color, what do you call that you do, Tina?
Color coding.
Color
Mhm.
coding your
Yep.
calendars?
In Google Calendar, you know how you can make it all different colors.
Oh,
Mine-
I don't
mine are
use
all-
Google, so
Mine are all different colors.
yeah, I use colored categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Molly.
Me too. I do a cash flow coded colored calendaring system, and then I have my little trusty time template here that I color, and I have hanging over me with my top 4 revenue producing activities that I need to spend 80% of my time on
Every day or every week?
every week.
Every week, right?
Well, yeah, 80% of my day needs to be revenue producing as well. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Would speaking on an event, is that a revenue producing activity for you?
Absolutely. For me, the way that I classify it is anytime, because I'm in the personal service business, I have a coaching and consulting business. So for me, anytime that I am in relation and I am face to face on a stage, doing one-on-one networking, servicing, paying clients, things of that nature, doing sales call, human interaction versus dealing with paper and computer.
Oh, that's a great way to describe
So
that.
I wonder if the Angel and Tina Morning Show is considered a money generating activity because we're
What human
Relationships.
interaction
Yes.
versus
I would put this as it's, working with power partners and leveraged opportunities to create widespread impact. So I would put it there, if I'm paying bills or reviewing documents or, meeting with my team, anything that I call kind of my locker room huddle work before I go on the Super Bowl playing field.
Mhm.
That's kind of the analogy that I put it there. If I'm dealing with paper and not with somebody who can connect me, be a connector, or bring in opportunities for me.
I like that, right? Because if it's people facing, right? Because they're power partners, they're
building
collaborators, they're
relationships with them.
yes,
Mhm.
they're either money now or money later, right? Like they could be a tie to a referral or a
Mhm.
recommendation or
But
another.
Molly, what about
state.
your podcast? You put your podcast in that same category too?
Yeah, I do. I do put that. So mine are just doing my Facebook lives that I do every Wednesday in my private Facebook group. Yes, podcasts, anytime that I'm in video, doing videos for blogs, podcast guests, or doing my own podcast, sales calls, anything of that nature. Absolutely. And then networking.
Okay.
How about you, Christine?
I'm not that sophisticated. If I had a bank code, I bet you're really high on a blueprint bank.
So
So
is that a blueprint thing according to the bank code?
yes, definitely.
okay.
Yes. I use my favorite color for my favorite things, which is speaking. And I have 2 different colors of purple, one for lavender is OPP, and dark purple is mine.
Oh, I love that.
I like
OPP.
that.
Love that.
Right? Different shades, like
Yep.
my
Yep.
stage, their stage.
Yeah.
I like that.
And if it's organizational stuff or back office stuff, it's red because I don't like to do it. And so,
okay,
but I know it has to get done.
so my
So I
red
do it
one-
based on how I feel about the.
my red ones are things that I cannot take off. Like they're non-negotiable. Like they have to stay on because I have to do them.
So what's
Yes.
a red for you,
Like a
Tina? What would
Yes.
be a red for you?
take a shower. No, I just
Meeting with my accountant is a red.
Oh,
so
Okay,
like
yeah.
that.
Doing
Like, you know,
bookkeeping is a red.
oh.
yeah.
My
It's
ears
stuff that I
hurt.
do not
Cannot
like to do.
take
But
off. But I do have like I think it's yellow that I put on there that are things that are kind of negotiable. So like, okay, so if I get invited to speak on this summit and it's all day, but I have this one yellow thing in there, I'm like, okay, well I can do that.
Mhm.
But if it was red, I'll be like, well, I can't do it.
Mm.
How many colors do you have, Tina?
Probably like 10.
Like 10.
Oh wow.
But
that's
I
a
have
lot.
like a
Because I'm seeing Molly, she's got 80%.
I have like a post-it note that tells me what all the colors are.
She's got a color coding system.
I'm
You know, and
definitely
you know
not
me,
that
like my
complex.
closet,
That's-
my closet is even color coded. Like,
So
Oh,
do you
my-
wear the color of the activity to the thing that you're
no,
doing?
I don't do that. But like I have
I'm
from
wearing-
white
wearing
to
red
all the way
today.
to black. So it's
Non-negotiable.
white, and then my light pinks, and then my reds, and then the yellows and oranges and greens and blues and purples.
Well,
Oh,
They're
look
pretty.
at this show off here.
But like organization is like my thing. Like everything has to be organized. Like my shoes, I have a lot of pair of shoes. Like those of you know me know I love shoes. They're all like one space in this way, one space in this way.
I do that too.
Yeah.
It's because you can get more of them, more shoes on a shelf when you do it that way.
And I have
Okay.
a lot of heels that have like things on the heel, and I
on
want to
the
see the
heel,
heel
so
part of
the
it.
heel. I read this book years ago about, it was called The French Woman's Closet. And you know, in Europe, they don't have closets like we do, right? They usually have like it's a piece of furniture, like an armoire type of
It's a
thing.
wardrobe. Yeah. Yeah.
Their closet. And so they don't have these massive closets. And so what's the French woman's secret? You know, the European woman's secret to looking so stylish and glamorous when they don't have these great big wardrobes. And their main secret was that their bottom halves, like their skirts and their pants, were in their neutral. So blacks or grays or navies. And so then their shoes matched that. So they didn't need 500 pairs of shoes, right? You only needed, I know, she's gonna have a heart attack. So, you know, you have a pair of boots, you have your high heels, you have your flats. So I did the French woman closet. So all of my bottoms, like my skirts and pants, were in my neutrals.
Well, I can totally see you doing this because in December, she comes, when we were at the UWC, I was already in there like preparing and helping set up or whatever. And she comes in there with her little tiny suitcase and she was like, hey, and I was like, is that your only suitcase? And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to be home until like mid-January. So I had to pack like for a month. And I was like, I brought 2 suitcases for 5 days.
Yeah, and my suitcase counts as a carry-on. I can take
it was like one of those tiny ones.
if it's in the above, but that's because, right, you only need you need your high heels, you need your flats, but they're all in that neutral color. And then their tops were where it was bright, and they accessorize with, you know, scarves and things that don't take up a lot of space. And so, yeah, I'd gotten rid of like 50.
And lo and
pairs of
behold, the whole 6 days that I seen her, she looked completely different. And she probably had like 5 things all the same.
right? No, I thought it was pretty impressive and pretty clever.
It was impressive for me. I'm like, how did you get your makeup in there? How did you get this in there? How did you get that in there? I was like, yeah, it was all in there.
Yeah, I'm one of those weird ones that I look high maintenance, but I keep it pretty simple. But I don't know. So that's even higher maintenance probably because of how
Right?
simple I try to keep it. But
I am
um,
definitely high maintenance.
Do you usually wear pants, or
so
because I wear dresses,
I like
so
wearing
it's
dresses.
harder to do that.
No,
Yeah.
no, because it's
So she's talking about from like the European part, like all your bottoms.
yeah, but a lot of my dresses are black and gray and
No, they're not.
that's
You have
true.
all those cute
No,
pants.
but my pants. That's true. That's true. I do wear right.
I like Molly's top right now, though. I'm loving that.
Oh,
Fangirl,
thank
you know,
you.
Molly's
Very
top.
cute.
We've gotten right totally like from work to our closet.
I know. Right?
Right,
It's
just
from
totally
Nordstrom
switched.
Trunk. If you haven't done that program, I highly recommend it.
What is it called?
Trunk.
Nordstrom Trunk.
I was doing some of those subscription boxes for a little while, and then I was traveling too much. I was not home to get them, and so actually maybe I didn't stop it until shoot, I don't know. So is that from Nordstrom Trunk?
Yeah, but you could have had your husband make your selection, right? That always would work out great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
You know, here's our secret to our happy little marriage is we have separate closets.
Two closets.
Our master bedroom came with two closets, his and hers closets, and we've lived here for 20 years. So I think having my own closet is like one of my favorite things. I don't have to share it with anybody in the world. So yeah, I don't know.
Like-
I don't know if I would want him shopping and picking out my stuff.
I don't know, but Angel, your top is bringing out like purple streaks in your
It
hair.
is. I thought you.
It has
I
like
thought you put.
it
purple in
almost
your
is like
hair.
bringing out lavender, like your blonde highlights that are in there.
Mhm.
You're
It's
working
almost
lavender?
turning them like lavender.
I thought they were.
Really?
Yeah, it's the
No,
mauve in the
looking, I'm
top.
going-
This okay, this is just like a Gap t-shirt that I've had for like 20
That
years.
color looks fabulous on you.
Yeah, it
But
does. It
it
looks
is-
really good on you.
And I told you when we first got on, I was like, her complexion looks completely different from when she had all the pink and purple lights on her. Her
Huh.
complexion and
think
everything looks
part of it is
completely
this
different with
top.
her new background.
And it's I don't know what color it really is. It's kind of this lavender. It's kind of like rose. I
It
don't
looks
know.
like a mauve, like a mauve or a dusty rose. Or
I'm gonna have to get
More
more
of
of
the
this in my
purple, though.
closet.
you know what you need to do? You need to go buy the 360 box crayons and do a color match.
Color it
The
is.
color match.
Thank
And this is what it's called.
I usually try to describe colors based on what they were in the crayon box.
in the crayon box. I'll have to take my picture and upload it to that Cooler website. It's like colors, but coolers.co. Are you familiar with that?
Wait,
No.
what?
And it I think it's it's weird because when you look up coolers, it's
And
like
they take out they take the photo and give you the color.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's
I bet they use the crayon box as the point of color.
That might be a little bit easier than going out and buying the 360 crown box.
Not nearly as much fun.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up
This
because
is how Christine decides her hair color. She's like, I want this, and this. These
Oh, I
things.
don't ask. I just sit down and he decides what he's going to do.
oh,
I
that's
never
fun.
ask. Never ask.
I like when you were in Orlando, you had a lot of purple and blue in there. It was so pretty.
I did. Yes, I did.
So pretty.
Yeah, I never ask. I just sit down and it took him like 4 years of doing my hair before he quit asking me. And so because he'd ask me and I go, I'm not going to give you any answer. Do whatever you feel like doing. It's like, you're a professional, do your job kind of thing.
You know better than me.
And I mean, I'm more picky about the haircut, but the color, I'm like, whatever. If I don't, the worst one I had was my Boris Johnson look, though. That was really embarrassing.
Your what?
My Boris Johnson look, the blonde, early in the pandemic.
Oh, I need to see that one. I don't think I see
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, you have. Yeah. We were on a SAM call, and Dee Dee Wong was doing it was her day, and she had us video record a 60-second
Oh,
kind of
yes.
intro.
I remember that.
So my intro was making fun of my Boris Johnson hair. because I
Oh.
looked like Boris Johnson. And then I said, but that's just me negotiating with myself. So I used it as a transition.
All right. Well, let's get to know our guests.
We have a morning show. I'm sorry.
We do. I know, right? It's just like a couple of girlfriends getting together, having coffee, which is one of the nice things about the show. It is unscripted. You get to learn a little bit more about people than you would in a traditional, formal presentation, something a little more scripted. Get to know who they are as humans. And we are that bright start to your day. But let's start with Miss Christine. Christine is our master negotiator, and we just love her. She's written for various publications, including Inc., Inside Supply Management, Mass High Tech, and others. She's co-authored third-party contracts in mergers and acquisitions, identifying and managing common implications. She's spoken at numerous companies throughout the world in various sectors, including financial services, oil and gas, telecommunications, software, hardware, healthcare, and more. She's spoken at conferences, including Harvard Business School's Dynamic Women in Business and Institute for Supply Management. Her book is coming out, right? Her book
Yes.
And her podcast are soon to be published. She is the queen of negotiating. If there's something that you think you're leaving on the table, you're probably right. Christine, we're so excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you. It's very good to be here. I love you ladies. So you guys are awesome.
We do have a pretty okay time. So you tell us about your podcast. I know your podcast is actually
yes
hot on your
yes
like it's hot on my list.
So the podcast is going to be called Negotiate That in the Venn Zone. So the Venn Zone, so you can see in our logo that it's a 3-circle Venn diagram, and the Venn Zone is the center overlapping part of the circles where common ground and agreement exist. So the concept of the podcast is that it's a 3-part segment. So there's 3 segments in each episode. There will be occasional times when I have episodes that are dedicated to one person in more of a traditional podcast interview, but the majority of the episodes will be a 3 segments episodes. In the first segment, so I interview somebody, we talk about a negotiation that he or she has done, is doing, or plans to do. They learn their negotiation style. We talk about what their priorities are, what their objectives are in the negotiation. And then we have a counterpart. And I interview the counterpart, same kind of concept. What's their negotiation style? What are their priorities in the negotiation? What would be a good deal for them? And then then in the third segment, I come in and I say, given the 2 individuals' negotiation styles, given their objectives and priorities, if these 2 individuals were to meet in a negotiation, this is where they have common ground already. This is where they have gaps. This is where I think they may actually be leaving money on the table and there's value that they're not even seeing. And if this is not your business, Mr. or Ms. listener, that's okay, because this is how this relates to other businesses as well. Cool. So yeah.
Right, so unique, right? So unique. And when she was describing it, I almost pictured it as even like a television episode, right? Where you're taking them in, it's you're negotiating over here in this room and you've got this group over here. And then, I don't know, it just seemed like.
That's funny you say that, because I actually had a couple people ask me if I do. They're like, you should be the Judge Judy of negotiations, the small business negotiation, and have a TV show.
Yes.
I can totally see you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually helped me with one of my negotiations, and I turned out on the right side.
Yes, you did.
Well, you've got a fun little quiz that you take people through to help
I do. So you want me to tell you what I'm giving today? Because I'm giving something different.
Ooh.
Because I am announcing something.
On the Tina Morning Show?
Yes.
DMA.
So if you text Venn Zone, so VENN Zone, to 26786, you get free access to our brand new Renegotiate That Masterclass. And everyone who shows up and attends the masterclass, you'll also get my 7 steps to successful negotiation and access to my free quiz, and learn your default negotiation style.
which the quiz is it's pretty amazing because, you know, when you do all these tests, right? You're like, oh, I'm a whatever, I'm this color, I'm a that color, or whatever. You kind of know. And so this is kind of like a test like that. And then you get then and you're like, oh, I'm not that.
Oh,
I might need some help.
Yeah.
I could use a little assistance. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we had, I've got somebody that we're negotiating with. Well, we already negotiated a deal, but we want to change it. And that he's just like not interested in any like moving or swaying, like anything. He's like, no, this is it. In
He
fact,
doesn't want no negotiation at all. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna do nothing.
yeah.
You
And
need to get the negotiator on it.
I know that's what they're like. We need Christine. And so, and there's an element that I was like, or do I even want to like work with this person at all?
That's a question.
You know, it's like, if this is how they are, you know, when they're trying to woo you, right? Like I'm like, this is the most charming they will ever be, is when they're trying to get your money.
Yeah.
I think that that's like the nicest. And if this is their best, you know, it's going to go downhill from here.
Right?
Yep. That's absolutely true.
And some people you just don't want to work with.
Well, the thing is that a lot of small business owners, and really anybody, there's this really awesome word in the English language. It's when my kids were little, I used to say it to them all the time. And when they didn't listen, I'd ask them if it was the N, the O, or the combination of the two that they were struggling with. Because no is the most powerful word in a negotiation. When you don't have leverage, or you're negotiating with somebody who's more powerful, or you think has more leverage than you do, your number one point of leverage is walking away from the deal and saying no.
That's powerful.
Right? And no is a complete sentence.
Yeah,
it is.
I love it.
Yes.
Not no because, not
That's
no
right.
if, no.
Oh, I was negotiating with a very large telephone company on behalf of a client, and they sent me a request. We'd been negotiating it 9 months. We'd been negotiating. Actually, no, that negotiation was like 3 years of negotiation. And we were toward the end of the negotiation, and they sent me, and I always negotiate price last because there's a lot of stuff that goes into price. And so salespeople make the mistake of thinking that when somebody says, yes, I'm going to buy and I'm fine at that price, they forget that there's a whole lot of other stuff that goes into the price, and they should be looking at profitability of the relationship, not just a per unit cost. So these guys, because they're used to, it's a humongous company and they're used to getting massive discounts, and they were getting a big discount from us, but they sent me an email saying, well, we want a 70% more discount. I hit reply and I said, no. That was it.
I love that.
I did not elaborate on it. I was just, nope.
No, exclamation mark.
Nope. Just no, period. That's it. That was it. That was all it was. And I told my CFO, or the CFO of the company, I was like, I told him what I did. And he's like, God, you crack me up. And it's like, you know, it's like, why?
Not that you crack him up. It's, dang, I wish I would be as bold as you are and just say no.
This guy, he and I are very similar. We have different styles, but we have very similar approaches. We have some fun stories. His name is Jeff Key. He's one of my favorite people, and we have some great stories, negotiation stories. And he especially talks about one of his favorite negotiation stories when he was younger, with somebody who out-negotiated him, and she had blue hair. So he's like, and he told me this story when I had blue hair. He's like, somehow. Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, what is it with you blue-haired women?
Well, if you do get a conversation with Christine, when you guys do get a conversation with her, ask her about her car negotiating story. It is probably one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard.
It was a fun story. And if we have time, we'll let her share it. But I want to introduce Molly, because speaking of podcasts, negotiation, right? Molly has a pretty incredible business here in Denver, Colorado. She's also got one of the most active podcasts when it comes to serving the business level and CEOs. But since the late 90s, Molly has coached, consulted, and directed presidents and founders of national organizations and over 4,000 law firms in executive level leadership, continuous improvement, and team empowerment initiatives to infiltrate new markets, leveraging partner ecosystems, and producing profitability. She has 23 years of a specific skill set experience in legal CMO, marketing, factional CEO, conversation intelligence, coaching, team development, and empowerment, intrapreneur talent acquisition, Kaizen leadership, root cause analysis, revenue mapping, and action-based project management. And her podcast can be found at hiringandempowering.com/podcast. Molly, I know you're a very busy gal. We're super excited that you could join us here this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's awesome.
Right,
And I've also had
podcast.
Angel and Tina both on my podcast. So thank you for being my guest.
You are welcome. It was a great podcast.
Yeah, yours actually is
Go
coming
ahead.
out soon.
Mine is?
And no, I didn't have you, Angel, on my podcast. I had you in my Facebook Live group, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was
It's
very
so
fun.
It was
You
so
got
fun.
that. So tell our audience all the fun stuff you've got going on.
Yeah. So, I'm just sitting here as I'm hearing Christine speak. And Christine, oh my God, you need to be a guest on my podcast, and you need to come and teach in my Facebook group. I have pages and notes of hearing you speak. I work with attorneys is my niche market, and is so fascinating. I do staffing as well as consulting and coaching, doing fractional CEO and CMO services for law firms. And I'm just blown away, especially like during this staffing. They do, they're on trials, they're doing mediations, they're in courtrooms, they're badass. And then when it comes time to negotiating for an employee contract, it's just amazing how they just crumble. And it's just, it's just amazing when it comes to the human stuff or dealing with vendors I love that, that I met you today, because you and I are going to become very, very,
very excited about that. I
There
actually
it
have
goes,
had,
the media
I've actually
matchmaker.
had law firms reach out to me and ask me to teach their attorneys how to negotiate more effectively.
Oh, well, you better put your seatbelt on, because I'm going to make you a very busy and rich woman.
I'm okay with that.
As I'm sitting here and I'm hearing you speak, I really want to go back to that initial question that Tina asked me of like, okay, well, is this morning show revenue producing for you? Is this, how would you classify this? What color are you pulling out of the crayon box to color this one? I like just even hearing Christine speak, I'm like, oh my goodness, amazing power partner opportunity. Unbelievable. I've had Tina on my podcast. I've had Angel not only teach in my private Facebook group, but also I was on one of the earlier morning shows and finding out that she does press releases. So Angel's been launching my press releases since June, and I am delighted with the reach we're getting.
You've gotten a lot of press from that. She showed me, she was like, look at Molly McGrath. And I looked it up, I was like, oh my God, millions.
Yes. And it's really cool because now my clients that I do CMO work for, we're incorporating into their marketing plan for them to do press release. So this week, I sent Angel a client over, and it's really exciting. So being in this arena and just showing up is every single time that I show up, I never ask I didn't even know what the topic really was today. I didn't, just show up and be you and be present and listening. There's always endless opportunities. I've never not hung out with you two girls and had a ton of opportunities come out of it.
And we don't put a certain topic on every day. I do the calendar, and it just so happens that the people we bring on, it's like a perfect match.
It is. Like
We
I
had
was
people
just looking
start-
at this before our call.
We have people who have started a book, who have started businesses together. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just fun, and it's all God. It really is.
Oh my goodness. Like Christine, as you're speaking, I'm like, yes, this is my girl. Like I've been looking for you.
I can't wait
Where
to
have you
connect
been
more
all my
after.
life?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I just have to tell you, when you were speaking, I'm sure Angel and Tina see this and the viewers, but you have the most magical eyes. Like the passion is just oozing out of you when you speak about what you do.
I definitely cannot be accused of not liking what I do.
Yeah. It shows.
I am super passionate about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank
you for that. I appreciate that. That's very
No,
sweet.
right? We just had a very, very lovely moment. Well, Molly, tell them about your podcast. Tell them about the impact that you have made, because you just totally shifted something brand new that you launched. Just this spring, right? With the internship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 So
Like, about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. It's my podcast I launched May 2019. It was just something that my social media person told me that I needed to do. I don't love the stage. I don't love being on camera. It's not my favorite thing, being on podcasts, and is now I did not, and now it's my favorite thing to do. People will be like, what's your download? What's your reach? I'm like, I don't know. I don't look at my analytics. And I go in there, I'm like, holy crap, I have 10,000 original downloads. And I just, I come from a place of just providing purpose and clarity for people and just speak from the heart of, I even wrote down, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I even have subject lines that Christine and I can talk about on my podcast. It's just, it's really fun. And through the pandemic, as you all started this show, and we've talked about several times, I feel really grateful and blessed that I've had a virtual business. I live in Denver. My company, for 23 years, I've been virtual for the most part. And I have maybe 2 clients in Denver. The rest of them are across the nation. And I've lived in a Zoom world forever. And so when the pandemic hit, it was a real great opportunity to take these traditional stuffy brick and mortar law firms and bring them in online. And I feel really great that for the month of March, we onboarded like 330 law firms and got them into a virtual world we started a private Facebook group and taught in there every single day, teaching them how to use Zoom, how to handle signing meetings, how to handle notaries, how to handle witnesses, how to handle everything. And I feel really proud about that. And through that, I was hearing a lot of buzz about these college students that had internships and they were taken away. They, couldn't travel. They couldn't go to them. Businesses were putting everything on freeze. So my partner and I decided, we're like, well, why don't we start an internship program for our CMO portion of our business where we do the outsourced marketing for people. And it was really fascinating and great. We just brought on like 15 people at once, and we have 3 left standing. And it was really fascinating to just really figure out, who's coachable, who's, testing them on their organization, giving them grace and giving them the tools that they had, but then figuring out who would last. And I'm really glad we did that versus she's like, no way, like we can't bring on all these people. Let's just bring on 1 or 2 at a time. I'm like, no, because I guarantee there's going to be 2 left standing, and we have 3 left standing right now, and they're phenomenal going to college. And I'm just amazed at when I hear people talk about today's youth, like they run circles around us.
I share that. I love today's youth. I
Me
do.
too.
I just think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's really awesome, and it's so inspiring to see, and I'm so excited for these interns, their future and the access that they get that I wish I would have had when I was their age.
They have such innovative ideas,
Well, I was going to ask if kind of, do you have like a staffing model that when you're hiring somebody, that you kind of have a way of looking at people that kind of gives you good indicators that somebody's going to work well within your organization?
Yeah, definitely. I have that for internally and then externally when we do the staffing portion for the law firms that we do their staffing for. Absolutely. I never ever hire from the resume. You know, we want to talk. I have 3 recruiters that work for me and we're all trained that I want to talk to every single person as much as possible. You are not to disqualify someone unless it's completely blatant that they will not be a fit. But we hire from the human side because it's the hardest thing to train. And so we interview from emotional intelligence, coachability. We interview from mindset. We interview from a place of stability, from their deep curiosity, their ability to ask the powerful questions, their ability to be self-governing, even in a Zoom interview. And it's those things that we interview from. And then I care about the resume. Then we'll talk about the resume.
Right.
But by and large, I've found that in the first 5 minutes, you can tell, especially during this pandemic. Oh my goodness, so funny. My lead recruiter has been with me forever. She called me last week. She goes, I want to put in my job description that I am allowed to drink on the job. She goes, this is craziness. Like people's true colors are coming out now during this pandemic. It's probably going to be my next book that I write about just, how people handle a crisis. And my goodness, it's heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, but also really fascinating at the same time.
It is. Well, let's have I have your book, but it's on my bookshelf, and so when I lean over, I get too much in the camera, so I'm not going to grab it. But tell them where they can go.
I was like, where did I put my book? She sent me the book.
Oh, do I have any here? I think I just gave my last one away. No.
Okay, well, here, I'm going to hide the camera.
She's got the typical Zoom attire on, beautiful top and pajama pants.
I love your cover. That's
thank
awesome.
you. That was my first book that I wrote in 2008 in the middle of a pandemic when I launched my business. And it's interesting.
And then she relaunched it again in the middle of a pandemic.
Yep. Yeah.
So very exciting. How do you want people to get in touch with you, Miss Molly?
They can go to my website, hiringandempowering.com. You can join our feed to read our weekly blogs that post every Thursday or our podcast that launches every Tuesday. And you can there's a link there for if you want to opt in to get a free 30-minute coaching call, even if you're not in the legal space or you're not in the business space. And I would be happy to share my time and any wisdom that I can with your listeners.
Well, you're just a wealth, of information and systems and assets. Yes. And very complimentary, our guests today. And it almost didn't happen. So I'm so glad. Yes. I'm so glad that both of you were able to join us today. Well, I need to take a quick little commercial break and mention our sponsors who bring the Angel and Tina Morning Show to you every morning. Of course, it's because of our guests that make the morning show so special and so fabulous, and what keeps us going every single day. So thank you so much to Christine and Molly for being with us today. But also our sponsors. We have Bliss by the Lake Boutique, our clothing sponsor. She's got some really cute stuff, always featuring on Facebook all of her new inventory. She does trunk shows, fashion shows, and of course she ships everywhere across the US. Zandra TV Network, we are digitally being streamed on 7 streaming platforms thanks to the Zandra TV Network. They are the award-winning network where small business entrepreneurs can tell their stories. So if you've got content, if you've got a podcast and you want to take that to television, schedule a discovery call with them by visiting beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com to start your affordable global marketing experience today. She's launching 12 new producers this fall with 12 new TV programs starting. It is such an exciting time to leverage that platform. And of course, the Angel and Tina Morning Show is streamed there. And then if you're just feeling a little too busy, overwhelmed to get it all done, well, how about this? Don't hire it out. you can hire a virtual assistant with Sonic VA, SONICVA.com. You can focus on what you do best and hire out for all the rest and use Molly's hiring system for how to hire the best. Let's see. When you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you get a 10% discount on your first 40 hours of virtual assistant service. That's sonicva.com. So thank you so much to our sponsors for making this show global and spreading the message when we just thought it was going to be a temporary, something we were going to do temporarily during the pandemic. We've now hosted well over 100 episodes, and
this is the 108.
This is?
Yeah.
We had our 100th episode about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and we gave out 57 awards. 57 awards. And we have our Unicorn Award winner here.
People were nominated, like they were nominated. So it was like a People's Choice Award. They could nominate any of the guests for, whatever they wanted. And Christine, you were nominated for and won the Unicorn Award. Molly,
Yes.
I think you were nominated for an award.
I think she was too, and I'm trying to remember what she was nominated for.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure.
What? I want my award.
She's like, I want my award. We gave them out. You had to be on the show.
Yeah, we gave them
I'm
out
gonna have to look and see what she was nominated for.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you were. And but we only announced if they were on the show what the awards were, so that we didn't have an empty stage.
Yeah.
It was but it was still a 90-minute
How
extended.
fun.
It was.
It was
an
a
hour
lot
and
of
half
fun.
show.
It was a lot of fun.
We had about 60 people on our show that day. It was amazing. We had so much fun.
We do have a
Angel
lot of
and I
fun.
were all dolled up. We had our diamonds on. We had all our hair done. It was so cute.
Yeah, it was super fun.
And then our whole Connect Summit, we thought that was only going to be one time or two times. And then now Angel and I just got done doing the rest of the year Connect Summit dates. And she was like, oh, December will be our 10th one. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
how is that happening?
It's just around the corner too.
It is just around the corner. Somebody posted the other day, there were 17 weeks left in the year.
Yeah, I already started Christmas shopping.
No, don't say that.
I always start in August.
Got
Yeah,
my girlfriend Samantha always sends me like these Christmas memes, like how many weeks until Christmas, and she usually starts in August, so they should be coming. You started Christmas shopping?
Yeah, I always do little bits here and there, just because I don't like to jam it all into one month. I am lamenting
No, I
because
used to start in August.
normally this weekend we'd be packing up our car and driving to the middle of the desert in Nevada for Burning Man. And I'm so bummed that it's not happening this year. It's it's so sad. It's the weirdest thing. So
well, Christine, I'm the opposite of you for shopping for Christmas. My husband and I, we started this years and years ago, but we pretty much do all of our Christmas shopping in one day.
Is it the day after Thanksgiving?
No, we pick like a Saturday or or a day in December, because I like Christmas shopping when the stores are decked out for Christmas. Right? The Christmas music and
cold outside, and you got Christmas music on. Yeah, that way you're actually in the Christmas spirit.
I live in Los Angeles. It does not get cold for Christmas.
Well, we get snow here, but even so we'll just make our list, right, of who we're shopping for and kind of an idea of what we're looking for in the stores we're going to go to, and we just make a day out of it. And
is your car completely packed when you get home?
Yeah, right. And then it's all here and we wrap, like it's just a thing, like we just do it all. But my mom used to always shop early, and I like shopping at Christmas time, and there's things that they never have the rest of the year. Little gift packs and the way they're packaged up. And
why we don't wrap anything until Christmas Eve.
You wrap it all on Christmas Eve?
So we usually stay up all night wrapping. That's what we did when our kids were little.
Even when your kids were little, they never went and peeked?
No.
See, my kids would.
And we did, and my husband writes, when the girls were little, we did treasure hunts. So the girls would get a big present. So they'd have some little presents, and then they'd get a big present, and he'd write kind of poems, iambic pentameter poems, and 4 stanzas. And it's probably not iambic pentameter. Somebody can actually correct me for that. But he would literally stay up. So I would rap, but he would literally write like 12 or 15 little poems and stick, and then he'd actually take wax and seal it in an envelope and go hide it. And then the girls would get, one was on the tree, and they'd read it out loud, and then they'd have to figure out where the next clue was. And they'd just do this treasure hunt, and then they'd find their big present at the end of the treasure hunt. So one year they all got kind of they all got Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals, and inside of it was a plane ticket to Disney. And we left that afternoon for Disney.
Oh,
it was fun. It was fun.
Wow.
you part of your family.
Yeah, it was fun. My husband's very creative that way.
That is
So,
very creative.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
How about you, Molly? When do you shop for Christmas?
I same as you. I when the kids are little, we would shop early around October, but then I'd hide the presents and I couldn't find them. And one year when we were moving, I found so many presents shoved in closets like that I had for my
Dang, I forgot about
then
you.
husband. Yeah. So, and then
awesome.
as the kids got older, I would buy everything on Amazon, and then, didn't realize that they had the wherewithal to look in the orders and look at all the orders that were ordered. So then that didn't work. So now I just shop. I like it. And same as Angel in December. That's my favorite time.
Well,
I do
ladies,
not wrap on Christmas Eve though. No way, Jose.
No, me neither.
Well, now I just give them money. I don't give them much in the way of presents anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
They're
like
too-
cold hard
They're
cash.
too old. They're too old.
thank
Oh
you
gosh,
so
my
much.
kids still freak. My son just went off to college, CSU. I took him up there last week, and my daughter's going to be 15 next week. And they still have a fit if I don't bring out the little elf box where, it's a German tradition where the elves leave candy in the house and they pull it. And I still have to bring out the elf on the shelf and hide him every day.
That's so special. That is
That's
so
really
cute.
cool. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
It's fun.
so I know, Christine, you just posted text VenZone to 26786 for free access to your Renegotiate That masterclass. And for everybody who shows up, you also get her 7 steps and access to her free quiz to learn your default negotiation style. Molly, you want to give really quick call to action one last time?
Yeah, you want me to put it here in the chat?
Or
No,
you can say
nobody
it.
can see it in the chat.
Okay. Yes, mine is hiringandempowering.com. And there you can sign up to receive our blog every Thursday, podcast every Tuesday, as well as click on the book a qualifier call on my homepage, and I will give you a complimentary 30-minute coaching call.
Awesome. Well, I'm Angel Tuzzi. I'm your media matchmaker. If you've got news, you should alert the press. Get started with your complimentary media starter kit at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. Enroll and download your complimentary starter kit and get 52 press release ideas, press release templates, or subscribe to our press release a month subscription service. Right? It is a fabulous way to elevate your brand and create publicity for what's going on in your world and telling your story to the media.
And everyone else. I'm Tina Torres, your client retention expert, also known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with building your audience or finding the right clients or even retaining those clients, I have a complimentary guide that will help you grow your audience organically, connect and nurture those relationships authentically, and then take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. You can grab that guide when you text the word connection to 26786. That is connection to 26786. Thank you guys all for watching, being our loyal fans. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, helping you be the bright start to your day. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.